Habit 2. Drink water, fuel before comfort. Before coffee, before your phone, drink water. This simple action looks too small to matter, but it quietly decides how your morning feels. When you wake up, your body has gone hours without fuel. Your brain is dry, your muscles are stiff, and your nervous system is slow. Reaching for water first is not about health trends. It is about leadership. When you drink water first, you choose function before comfort. Coffee gives stimulation. Water gives clarity. Comfort waits. Discipline moves first. That choice tells your brain that you are someone who prepares before you consume. You aren't chasing energy. You are creating it. A weak body creates a weak morning. When your body is dehydrated, your brain struggles to focus. Thoughts feel heavy. Emotions feel louder. Small problems feel bigger than they are. You may think you are lazy or unmotivated, but often you are simply running on empty. Water fixes the foundation before you blame yourself. A clear body creates a clear mind. Hydration supports attention, memory, and emotional balance. When your body receives what it needs, your mind becomes quieter. Decisions feel easier. Movement feels lighter. You stop fighting yourself and start cooperating with yourself. This habit also builds identity. When you drink water first thing in the morning, you send yourself a message. I take care of my system. I respect my body because my body carries my future. That message may sound simple, but repeat it daily, it changes how you see yourself. Do not drink water passively. Drink it with intention. Stand up, take a deep breath. As you drink, say in your mind, this is fuel for my focus. This moment matters. You are not just hydrating your body, you are waking up your discipline. Most people begin the day in reaction mode. They reach for their phone, they scroll, they consume noise. They let the world decide how their brain feels. Water interrupts that pattern. It creates a pause, a reset, a moment where you choose yourself before everything else. This habit is also about patience. You delay comfort to build strength. You show yourself that you do not need instant stimulation to function. Over time, this trains emotional control. You become less dependent on external boosts and more stable internally. When your body feels supported, learning becomes easier. Speaking English feels less stressful. Your voice feels steadier. Your mind processes words more clearly. Small habits affect big outcomes because they shape the conditions under which you think and act. You do not need a perfect routine. You need a consistent one. Drinking water every morning is not dramatic. It is reliable. Reliability builds trust. Trust builds confidence. Confidence changes behavior. Tomorrow morning, do not negotiate. Do not scroll. Do not rush. Drink water first. Choose fuel before comfort. Support your body before demanding performance. Strong mornings are built on simple decisions done consistently. This habit teaches you to lead yourself, and when you lead yourself well in small moments, larger victories follow naturally without force, pressure, or stress. Over weeks and months, this simple choice compounds. Your mornings become steadier, your reactions slow down, your confidence grows quietly. You stop needing external motivation because your body already feels ready. Water becomes a signal that the day has begun with intention. When intention leads, comfort no longer controls you. This is how small rituals build strong foundations, not through intensity, but through repetition. Drink water every morning, and you train patience, clarity, and self-leadership long before the day demands anything from you. This habit quietly prepares you to respond, not react. Habit 3. Silence before noise. Do not let the world speak first. This habit may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is one of the most powerful decisions you can make in the morning. When you wake up, your mind is open, quiet, and highly sensitive. Whatever enters first begins to shape your thoughts, your emotions, and your identity for the rest of the day. Most people lose this moment immediately. They grab their phone, they check messages, they scroll news, social media, videos, and opinions. Before they even stand up, their mind is already crowded with other people's voices, problems, fears, and comparisons. They start the day reacting instead of choosing. Silence breaks that pattern. Sit in silence for 1 minute. No phone, no music, no messages. Just sit. Breathe slowly. Feel your body. Notice your thoughts without judging them. This 1 minute is not empty time. It is ownership time. Silence gives you control over your attention. Noise steals it. When the world speaks first, it tells you what to worry about. It tells you who is winning, who is better, and what you should be afraid of. It fills your mind before you even know what you want from the day. That is how anxiety grows quietly, without permission. Silence does the opposite. Silence creates space. In that space, you remember who you are. You reconnect with your values instead of reacting to information. You stop running and start choosing. Ask yourself one simple question during this minute. What kind of person am I becoming today? Not what do I need to finish, not what problems are waiting. Who am I becoming? This question shifts your focus from tasks to identity. It reminds you that every action today is shaping something deeper than productivity. Silence also trains emotional strength. When you sit without stimulation, your mind may feel restless. That restlessness is not weakness, it is withdrawal. Your brain is used to constant input. Silence retrains it to be calm without distraction. Over time, this habit lowers stress. Your nervous system begins the day slower and steadier. You respond instead of react. You pause instead of panic. You listen instead of rush. These small changes improve every area of life, including learning and communication. When your mind is quiet, learning English feels lighter. Words come easier. You are less afraid of mistakes. You are present instead of tense. Silence prepares the brain for clarity, not confusion. This habit also builds confidence. When you can sit with yourself without escaping, you build trust. You learn that you do not need constant noise to feel okay. You become comfortable with your own presence. That comfort shows in how you speak, walk, and make decisions. 1 minute is enough. Do not aim for perfection. Do not aim for long meditation. Aim for consistency. 1 minute every morning compounds into awareness, patience, and control. Tomorrow morning, resist the urge to reach for your phone. Sit up, breathe, ask your question. Let your voice be the first one you hear. Silence is not weakness. Silence is leadership. When you choose silence before noise, you choose ownership over your mind. And when you own your mind, you own your direction. This habit does not make life easier immediately, but it makes you stronger daily. Strong people protect their attention. Strong mornings begin in quiet. Start here, and you will notice how your days feel clearer, calmer, and more intentional over time. Habit 4. Move your body, prove control. Do 10 push-ups, or squats, or jump. This habit is not about fitness. It is about control. It is about proving to yourself, early in the day, that your body listens to your decisions, not your excuses. When you wake up, your body often wants comfort. It wants to stay still. It wants to avoid effort. That desire is natural, but if comfort leads your morning, comfort will lead your life. Moving your body immediately interrupts that pattern. You do not move because you feel energetic. You move to create energy. Movement wakes up your nervous system. It increases blood flow, oxygen, and alertness. But more importantly, it sends a psychological signal. I decide. I lead. I act. This is identity training. When you do something physical that feels slightly uncomfortable, you prove that discomfort does not control you. That proof matters. Confidence does not come from thinking positive thoughts. It comes from evidence. Evidence that you can act even when you do not feel ready. 10 push-ups are not impressive. 10 squats are not heroic, but doing them when your mind says later is powerful. That moment rewires your relationship with resistance. You stop negotiating with weakness. You start responding with action. If you do hard things early, life feels easier later. This is not motivation. It is psychology. When your brain sees you face effort first, it relaxes throughout the day. Challenges feel smaller because you already won your first battle. Movement also releases tension. Stress is stored in the body. Sitting still all morning keeps that stress trapped. Moving releases it. You feel lighter, clearer, more present. That state improves learning, focus, and communication. This habit also builds momentum. One action leads to another. After movement, making better choices feels natural. You drink water. You speak with confidence. You approach tasks instead of avoiding them. Momentum is created, not waited for. You do not need perfect form. You do not need a workout plan. You need obedience to your decision. 5 push-ups done consistently are more powerful than 50 done once. Consistency builds identity. Intensity builds ego. This habit teaches you that strength is something you practice daily, not something you wait to feel. You stop asking, do I feel strong? You start asking, what action proves strength right now? When you move your body, you also change how you see yourself. You stop identifying as tired or lazy. You begin to see yourself as someone who shows up. That shift affects everything, including how you speak English. Confidence is physical before it is verbal. Movement grounds you in the present moment. Your thoughts slow down. Your breath deepens. You enter your body instead of staying trapped in your head. That presence reduces fear and hesitation. Tomorrow morning, do not overthink. Stand up, move. Let effort be the first language your body hears. Prove control before the day tests you. This habit is simple, but it is not small. It teaches leadership, discipline, and courage through action. When your body obeys your decision, your mind follows. And when your mind follows, your life begins to move forward with clarity, strength, and purpose, one deliberate morning at a time. Habit 5. Speak one powerful line. Say it out loud. This habit only works when you use your voice, not in your head, not silently, out loud. Words spoken aloud carry weight. They enter your ears, your nervous system, and your memory. Your brain believes what it hears repeatedly, especially when the voice speaking is yours. When you wake up, your mind is already talking to you. It is reminding you of problems, fears, doubts, and unfinished business. If you do not choose your words, your old patterns will choose them for you. That is why speaking one powerful line every morning is an act of leadership. Choose a sentence that represents the person you are becoming. It must be simple, clear, strong. Say something like, I am not weak anymore, or I am rebuilding my life, or I speak better English every day. These are not wishes, they are directions. When you speak these words, your brain begins to look for evidence to support them. This is how the mind works. It aligns behavior with identity. If you repeatedly tell yourself you are tired, weak, or behind, your actions will match that story. But if you repeat a message of strength, your actions slowly adjust to fit it. This habit is not about lying to yourself. It is about choosing the story you live inside. Every human being lives inside a narrative. The question is whether that narrative is accidental or intentional. Speaking one powerful line makes it intentional. Stand tall when you say it, shoulders back, breathe deeply, speak clearly. The body supports the message. Confidence is physical before it is mental. When your posture is strong, your words carry more authority and your brain receives them as truth. Repetition is the key. One sentence said once is inspiration. One sentence said daily becomes programming. Over time, the words move from conscious thought into automatic belief. That belief begins to guide decisions without effort. This habit is especially powerful for learning English. When you say, "I speak better English every day," you remove fear from practice. Mistakes stop feeling dangerous. Speaking becomes normal. Your identity shifts from learner to speaker. Do not rush this moment. Give it 5 seconds. Feel the words. Hear your voice. Let your brain register certainty. Even if you do not fully believe the sentence yet, speak it anyway. Belief follows action, not the other way around. Many people wait to feel confident before they speak confidently. That approach fails. Confidence is built by acting confident first. Speaking power creates emotional alignment. Your nervous system adjusts. Your hesitation softens. This habit also builds emotional resilience. On difficult days, your words become an anchor. When the world feels unstable, your voice reminds you who you are. You stop depending on external validation. You become your own reinforcement. Choose one line and stay with it for at least 30 days. Do not change it daily. Consistency deepens impact. Let the sentence become familiar. Let it sink in. Every morning, your voice sets the tone. If you do not speak power, the world will speak doubt. Take control. Speak first. Speak clearly. Speak strength. This small habit trains courage, clarity, and self-trust. Over time, you will notice a shift. You walk differently. You speak differently. You act differently. All because you chose your words before the world chose them for you. This practice may feel strange at first, but stay with it. Your voice becomes your daily signal. Over time, that signal shapes thought, behavior, and identity, turning intention into habit and habit into lasting personal change through calm repetition every morning. Habit 6. Look in the mirror. Build self-respect. Look in the mirror and slow down. Do not rush past your reflection like it is something uncomfortable or unimportant. Look directly into your eyes. This habit is not about appearance. It is about connection. It is about learning to face yourself with honesty and respect. Most people avoid their reflection in the morning. They see tired eyes, flaws, reminders of mistakes, or dreams that feel far away. They look away quickly. That avoidance quietly damages self-trust. When you cannot face yourself, confidence weakens. This habit reverses that pattern. When you look into your own eyes and speak with respect, you rebuild a broken relationship. Say one simple line: "I'm proud of you for showing up." That sentence is not dramatic, it is grounding. It recognizes effort, not perfection. You do not need applause from the world. You do not need likes, praise, or approval to move forward. What you need is self-respect. Self-respect begins when you acknowledge your own effort, especially on difficult days. Showing up matters. Waking up matters. Trying again matters. When you recognize that in the mirror, you stop treating yourself like an enemy. You begin treating yourself like someone worth supporting. This habit is powerful because it changes your inner dialogue. Most people speak to themselves in ways they would never speak to others. Harsh words, constant criticism, endless pressure. Over time, that voice becomes destructive. The mirror habit interrupts it. When you speak kindly but firmly to yourself, your nervous system responds. Tension softens. Your posture improves. Your breathing slows. The body believes the message. Calm confidence replaces silent self-attack. This practice also builds emotional resilience. Life will challenge you. People will doubt you. Situations will test you. When you have practiced self-respect daily, external criticism loses power. You no longer collapse when things go wrong. Looking yourself in the eyes builds accountability as well. You cannot lie to your reflection. You see effort. You see avoidance. You see growth. That honesty creates clarity. Clarity creates progress. This habit is especially important when rebuilding confidence and learning new skills. When learning English, mistakes are unavoidable. If you punish yourself for every error, progress slows. When you respect yourself through the process, learning accelerates. Self-respect creates patience. Patience creates consistency. Consistency creates results. This chain begins in the mirror. Stand still. Hold eye contact for 5 seconds. Do not smile to escape. Do not judge. Just look. Say your line clearly. Mean it. Even if it feels uncomfortable, stay present. At first, it may feel strange. That is normal. You are replacing years of neglect with intention. Over time, this habit feels grounding, familiar, necessary. This moment in the mirror becomes a daily checkpoint, a reminder that you are still here, still trying, still building. When you respect yourself, your standards rise naturally. You make better choices. You protect your time. You speak with clarity. Others feel that shift. This habit teaches you that confidence does not come from pretending to be strong. It comes from respecting yourself while becoming stronger. Tomorrow morning, do not rush past the mirror. Pause, look, speak. Build self-respect quietly. Over time, this habit reshapes your identity. You stop needing permission to believe in yourself. You become steady, centered, grounded. When self-respect becomes routine, discipline follows without force. Confidence grows without noise, and your life begins to feel aligned from the inside out. This daily ritual becomes a foundation, reminding you that progress starts with self-respect, repeated quietly, consistently, every morning, without excuses, comparison, rushing, or waiting for lasting personal transformation. Write 3 actions, create focus. Write 3 things you will finish today. Not many, just 3. This habit is about clarity, not productivity. Productivity tries to do more. Clarity decides what matters. When your mind is clear, action becomes simple. When your mind is crowded, procrastination takes control. Most people start the day without direction. They react to messages, requests, and problems as they appear. Their energy is scattered. By the end of the day, they feel busy but unsatisfied. They did many things, but not the right things. This creates frustration and self-doubt. Writing 3 actions changes that pattern. It forces you to choose, not everything, only what truly matters today. These are not tiny tasks like checking email or scrolling. These are actions that move your life forward, actions that create progress you can feel. When you write them down, your brain stops guessing. Uncertainty is exhausting. Clarity is calming. You no longer ask, "What should I do now?" You already know. This reduces mental resistance and makes starting easier. Clarity kills procrastination because procrastination feeds on confusion. When a task feels vague or overwhelming, the brain avoids it. When a task is clear and limited, the brain engages. 3 actions feel manageable. They feel possible. Finishing what you write builds trust with yourself. Trust is critical. Every time you complete one of the 3 actions, you reinforce a powerful identity. I do what I say I will do. That identity is more valuable than motivation. At night, when you look back at the day, finishing 3 actions creates pride. Not loud pride, quiet pride. The kind that builds confidence slowly and sustainably. Over time, this habit restores self-belief. Now, to protect this clarity, you must guard your mind. No social media, no bad news, especially in the morning. Your mind is most open at the start of the day. Whatever enters first shapes your emotional tone and attention. Social media fills your mind with comparison. News fills it with fear. Neither helps you focus. They drain mental energy before you have used it on your own life. That is why guarding your mind is not avoidance, it's strategy. When you consume negativity early, your brain becomes reactive. Small problems feel big. Focus breaks easily. Motivation drops. But when you feed your mind with strength, your inner state stabilizes. Strength comes from intentional input, a short English practice, a meaningful sentence, a calm thought, silence. These inputs support clarity instead of destroying it. This habit works together with writing 3 actions. Clear actions require a clear mind. A noisy mind cannot focus. A protected mind can. You are not weak for avoiding noise. You are disciplined. You are choosing long-term growth over short-term stimulation. That choice compounds. Guarding your mind also improves learning. When your brain is not overloaded, it absorbs information faster. English becomes easier. Speaking feels safer. Memory improves. You do not need to disconnect forever. You need boundaries, especially in the morning. Protect the first part of the day like it matters, because it does. Write your 3 actions, then protect the space needed to complete them. This combination builds focus, discipline, and momentum. Over time, you stop feeling overwhelmed. You stop feeling behind. You feel directed, focused, calm. This habit teaches you that success is not about doing everything, it's about doing the right things with a clear mind. 3 actions, 1 protected mind, repeated daily. That is how clarity replaces chaos. That is how progress becomes visible. And that is how your days begin to feel intentional, controlled, and aligned with the life you are rebuilding, one focused decision at a time. Habit 8. Guard your mind. No social media. No bad news. Feed your mind with strength, not comparison. This habit is about protecting the most valuable resource you have in the morning, your attention. Attention decides what you notice, what you remember, and what you believe about yourself. When you wake up, your mind is open and impressionable. It has not yet built defenses. Whatever enters first sets the emotional tone for the day. If you immediately scroll social media, you invite comparison before confidence. If you read negative news, you invite fear before focus. This is not harmless. It shapes your internal state. Social media trains your brain to measure itself against other people's highlights. You see success without context, happiness without struggle, and progress without pain. Your brain does not know this is incomplete information. It only knows comparison. Comparison drains motivation and creates a quiet sense of inadequacy. Bad news works the same way. It fills your mind with problems you cannot control. Your nervous system reacts as if danger is near. Stress rises, focus drops. By the time you start your day, your energy is already spent on things that do not build your life. Guarding your mind is not ignorance. It is discipline. It is choosing what deserves access to your thoughts. Just as you would not eat junk food every morning and expect your body to feel strong, you cannot feed your mind mental junk and expect clarity. Feeding your mind with strength means choosing input that stabilizes you. Calm words, purposeful silence, clear intentions, learning instead of scrolling. Strength does not excite, it grounds. This habit teaches patience. You delay stimulation to protect direction. You stop reacting and start leading. Over time, this builds emotional control. Emotional control is the foundation of confidence. When your mind is guarded, small challenges feel manageable. You are less reactive, less defensive, more focused. This state improves everything you do, including learning English. Language learning requires patience, repetition, and calm attention. A noisy mind struggles to absorb anything. Guarding your mind also restores self-respect. You stop allowing random voices to influence your mood. You choose whose words matter. That choice reinforces identity. You begin to see yourself as someone intentional. This does not mean avoiding information forever. It means timing matters. Morning is for building yourself, not absorbing the world. Once your foundation is set, you can face noise with strength. Start with the first 30 minutes. No social media, no news, no comparison. Use that time to breathe, think, read, or practice English. Feed your mind something that supports growth. Over time, this habit compounds. Anxiety decreases, focus improves, confidence becomes stable. You stop feeling behind and start feeling directed. Strong minds are protected minds. Guard yours daily. Choose strength over noise. Choose intention over impulse. This habit quietly transforms how you think, feel, and act, shaping a life that is built from clarity rather than chaos, one protected morning at a time. Discipline begins with boundaries, and boundaries protect growth. When you guard your mind, you decide what deserves space. This decision repeats daily, shaping habits, reactions, and long-term direction. Instead of chasing stimulation, you build stability. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, you feel grounded. Morning after morning, this protection strengthens focus, patience, and self-leadership. Eventually, your inner world becomes calm enough to handle pressure, learn faster, and respond wisely. Guarding your mind is not restrictive, it is freedom. Freedom from noise, fear, and constant comparison. With clarity restored, effort feels lighter, purpose feels clearer, and progress feels honest, sustainable, and fully your own, every single day forward. Habit 9. Act like your future self. Ask yourself one simple question the moment you wake up. How would my future self act this morning? This question shifts your focus away from mood, fear, and excuses. It moves your attention toward identity. Identity always comes first. Results always come later. Most people wait for results before they change their behavior. They say they will act confident when they feel confident. They will be disciplined when life becomes easier. They will speak better English when they stop feeling embarrassed. This way of thinking keeps them stuck. The future never arrives because the behavior never changes. Your future self already exists as a direction. That version of you wakes up with purpose. That version does not negotiate with weakness. That version does not waste the morning scrolling or hesitating. The only difference between you and that future self is daily behavior. Acting like your future self is not pretending. It is training. It is teaching your brain a new standard. When you act before excuses arrive, you bypass the habit of delay. Excuses grow stronger the longer you wait. Action is strongest in the first moments. Ask the question, then move immediately. How would my future self sit, stand, speak, or focus this morning? Would that version hit snooze again or get up with intention? Would that version avoid practice or speak English out loud even if it feels uncomfortable? Identity is shaped through repetition. Each time you act like your future self, you send your brain evidence. Evidence that this identity is real. Evidence that you are capable of becoming more. Over time, that evidence accumulates and belief follows naturally. This habit removes pressure. You are not trying to change your entire life today. You are simply borrowing behavior from the person you are becoming, one action at a time, one decision at a time. That is sustainable growth. When you act first, confidence follows. Confidence is not a prerequisite. It is a result. The brain trusts actions more than thoughts. When you move with intention, your nervous system calms. Doubt loses power. This habit is powerful for learning. If your future self speaks English clearly, then today you speak one sentence. Not perfectly, just honestly. You stop waiting to feel ready. You practice because that is what your future self does. Acting like your future self also changes posture, tone, and presence. You carry yourself differently. You stop shrinking. Others feel that shift. Opportunities respond to behavior, not intentions. This habit requires courage. You may feel uncomfortable. You may feel awkward. That discomfort is not a sign of failure. It is proof of growth. Growth always feels unfamiliar. Do not overthink the future. Do not imagine perfection. Focus on one small behavior that represents direction, then do it immediately. Over time, the gap between you and your future self closes. The behavior becomes normal. The identity becomes real. Results arrive quietly after consistency. Identity leads, action follows, results appear. Every morning, choose to act like the person you respect. That choice, repeated daily, reshapes your life without force, pressure, or waiting. Habit 10. Feed your mind before your mouth. Before breakfast, give your brain something powerful. This habit is about respect for your future, not restriction. When you wake up, your mind is alert, open, and searching for direction. Whatever you give it first becomes the foundation of your day. Most people feed their body first and their mind last. They eat, drink coffee, scroll their phone, and react to noise. By the time they try to focus, their attention is already scattered. Feeding your mind first reverses this pattern. Your brain is hungry in the morning. It is not hungry for information overload. It is hungry for clarity, meaning, and repetition. That is why 5 minutes is enough. 5 focused minutes are more powerful than 1 distracted hour. Listen to English. Let the sounds enter without pressure. You are not testing yourself. You are warming up your brain. Language becomes familiar through exposure, not force. Every sentence you hear builds recognition. Speak English out loud, even if it feels uncomfortable. Speaking activates confidence. The brain learns faster when sound and movements combine. Your voice teaches your mind that English is safe, usable, and part of your daily life. Read 1 paragraph, not 10 pages, 1 paragraph. Reading builds structure. It connects sound to meaning. It slows your thinking and increases understanding. Small reading habits create deep comprehension over time. 5 minutes a day is how fluency is built, not through intensity, through consistency. Consistency removes fear. Fear blocks learning. When learning feels normal, progress accelerates. Feeding your mind before your mouth also builds discipline. You delay comfort to invest in growth. That decision strengthens self-control. Self-control improves focus, confidence, and emotional stability. This habit changes identity. You stop saying you want to improve your English. You become someone who practices daily. Identity shifts before results appear. Do not wait to feel ready. Feed your mind first. Let learning lead. Then eat your breakfast with intention, knowing you already invested in your future. This simple order matters because habits are built on priority. What comes first becomes automatic. When learning comes first, growth becomes normal. You stop seeing English as extra work. It becomes part of your identity. Morning learning sends a signal to your brain. It says, improvement is non-negotiable. This reduces resistance later in the day. When something is already done, excuses lose power. This habit also lowers anxiety. You start the day ahead, not behind. That emotional advantage carries into conversations, decisions, and challenges. You speak with more calm. You listen with more patience. Learning feels lighter when fear is removed. 5 minutes protects you from overwhelm. Overwhelm causes avoidance. Avoidance kills progress. This habit prevents that cycle. Make it predictable. Same time, same place, same action. Predictability builds trust. Trust builds confidence. Confidence encourages practice. Practice creates progress. Progress reinforces identity. This is how growth compounds. Do not underestimate 5 minutes. Small inputs repeated daily create massive change. Your brain learns by pattern, not pressure. Gentle repetition always wins. Feed your mind before your mouth every morning. Let learning become as normal as breakfast. Over time, English stops feeling foreign. It becomes familiar, usable, and personal. Fluency grows quietly. Confidence follows naturally. Discipline strengthens without force. This habit respects your future self. It honors long-term growth over short-term comfort. When mornings begin with intention, days feel purposeful. Purpose improves consistency. Consistency creates results. Results build belief. Belief strengthens identity. Identity shapes your life. Start tomorrow morning. Before you eat, learn. Before comfort, choose growth. 5 minutes is enough. 5 minutes done daily changes everything. Begin there and stay consistent. Always forward. You don't need saving. You need deciding. No one is coming to rescue your mornings, and no one is responsible for your future except you. This is not pressure. This is power. The moment you decide, everything begins to shift. No more weak mornings, no more snoozing your future, no more giving your best energy to distraction and your dreams what is left. You were not born to stay tired, confused, and waiting. You were born to rebuild intentionally and repeatedly. Strong lives start in silence. They start before the noise, before the excuses, before the world makes demands. Strong lives start early, not because early is magical, but because early belongs to you. When no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when no one is judging, that is when identity is formed. Tomorrow morning, when the world is quiet, remember this moment. Remember that winning your morning is not about perfection, it is about ownership. One choice, one action, one refusal to return to the old pattern. Win your morning, and you will win your life. Not all at once, not overnight, but day by day, decision by decision, habit by habit. Discipline is not punishment, it is self-respect practiced daily. Come back every morning, not because you are weak, but because repetition builds strength. Train your discipline when motivation disappears. Train your English when fear tells you to stay silent. Train your identity when doubt tries to remind you of who you used to be. You do not need to feel ready. Readiness comes after action, not before. You do not need confidence. Confidence is built by keeping promises to yourself. Small promises, daily promises, morning promises. Your new life does not start next year. It does not start when conditions are perfect or when you feel inspired. It starts now. It starts with the next breath, the next movement, the next decision. Stand up tomorrow morning and choose differently. Choose clarity over comfort. Choose discipline over delay. Choose growth over excuses. Let the silence become your strength. Let the early hours become your training ground. You are not behind. You are beginning, and beginnings require courage, not certainty. Decide today, rise tomorrow, repeat daily. That is how identity is built, and that is how a life is rebuilt, one strong morning at a time. This path remains yours alone, always, without apology or delay. Good morning. This is not just another morning. It is not just Monday. It is not just a random square on your calendar that you will forget by tonight. Today is different. Today is a reset. Today is a mirror that does not judge you but shows you clearly who you are becoming through your daily choices. Maybe you woke up tired again. Maybe your body feels heavy and your mind feels slow. Maybe you opened your eyes and felt confused, lost, or strangely empty, even though the day has not started yet. That feeling is familiar to many people. You are not broken for feeling it. You are human. But listen carefully now. This morning is not here to punish you. It is not here to remind you of your past mistakes or your unfinished goals. This morning is here to wake you up, not just your body, but your awareness. Because every morning quietly asks you a powerful question. Will you repeat yesterday, or will you choose something new? This is not just a motivational video playing in the background while you scroll your phone. This is a moment of truth, a pause, a breath, a chance to step out of automatic living and look honestly at yourself, not with shame, not with fear, with clarity. The way you start your morning becomes the direction of your thoughts. Your thoughts shape your actions. Your actions slowly shape your identity. And your identity, day by day, builds your life. This moment matters more than you think. So do not rush. Do not escape. Stay here. Listen, because this morning is not ordinary. It is the beginning of a decision. And that decision starts now. This is where change begins, quietly, honestly, without noise, excuses, or permission, today. Morning is not about the clock. It is not about waking up early or late. It is not about how many hours you sleep or what time your alarm rings. Morning is about identity. It is about who you decide to be before the world starts making decisions for you. Every single morning asks you one quiet but powerful question. Who are you today? Not who you want to be someday, not who you were yesterday. Who are you choosing to be right now, in this moment, when no one is watching and no one is judging? Most people lose the morning without realizing it. They hit snooze because comfort feels easier than commitment. They grab their phone and scroll because distraction feels safer than silence. They complain before they create, react before they think, consume before they choose. By the time the day really starts, their identity has already been decided by habits they never questioned. But from today, not you. From today, morning becomes your weapon. Not a weapon against the world, but a weapon against weakness, confusion, and self-doubt. Morning becomes your training ground, the place where you practice becoming stronger before life tests you. Morning becomes the first battle of the day, and that battle does not happen outside. It happens inside your head. The enemy is not your alarm clock. It is not your job, your boss, your situation, or your past. The enemy is the voice that speaks the moment you wake up. The voice that says, I'm tired. I can't do this. I'm already behind. What's the point today? That voice sounds convincing because it is familiar. You have heard it many times before. But understand this clearly. That voice is not the truth. It is a habit. It is a mental pattern repeated so often that it feels real. And habits do not change because you feel inspired for one day. Habits change when you interrupt them with action. Motivation is emotional. It rises and falls. Some mornings you feel strong. Some mornings you feel empty. If your identity depends on motivation, your life will always be unstable. But action is different. Action does not ask how you feel. Action asks who you are choosing to be. When you act, even in small ways, something powerful happens. Action creates belief. When you get up instead of snoozing, you send your brain a message. I am someone who moves forward. When you choose silence instead of scrolling, you tell yourself, I am someone who leads my mind. When you do one difficult thing early, you prove I can do hard things. Belief is built from evidence, not words. And when belief becomes strong enough, it turns into identity. Identity is no longer something you say, it is something you live. You do not wake up trying to be disciplined. You wake up as someone who is disciplined. And identity shapes everything. It shapes how you speak, how you handle stress, how you learn, how you show up when life is heavy. The person who wins the morning does not wait for confidence. They act, and confidence follows. They do not wait for clarity. They move, and clarity appears. So stop thinking of morning as time. Start seeing it as training. Training for your mind. Training for your character. Training for the life you are building one quiet decision at a time. Every morning, you are not waking up. You are choosing. And that choice is shaping your life, starting now. Today, tomorrow, and every morning after that, the choice remains yours. Let me tell you something important. Motivation is loud, emotional, and exciting, but it is weak. It makes promises it cannot keep. It shows up when things feel easy and disappears the moment life feels heavy. Motivation feels powerful, but it is unreliable, and that is why so many people start strong and quit quietly. Motivation depends on mood. It depends on energy. It depends on how you feel when you wake up. Some mornings you feel inspired. Other mornings you feel empty. If your progress depends on motivation, your life will move forward one day and fall backward the next. That is not strength. That is instability. Systems are different. Systems are quiet. Systems do not care how you feel. They do not argue with your emotions or wait for the perfect moment. Systems simply run. And when a system runs long enough, it changes your behavior. When behavior changes consistently, your identity changes with it. This is why real change does not begin with excitement. It begins with structure. Structure gives direction when motivation is gone. Structure removes decision fatigue. Structure turns effort into routine. You do not wake up asking, "Do I feel like it today?" You wake up knowing what comes next. That is why this is not about feeling strong. Feelings lie. Feelings change. Strength is trained, not felt. Strength is built through repetition, through showing up when you would rather stay comfortable, through doing simple things even when they feel boring or uncomfortable. A system does not need to be dramatic. In fact, the smaller it is, the more powerful it becomes. Big plans fail because they demand too much too fast. Simple systems survive because they fit into real life. They work on good days and bad days. They work when you are tired. They work when you are busy. Think about brushing your teeth. You do not need motivation to do it. You do not debate it. You do not wait until you feel inspired. You do it because it is a system. That is the level of simplicity you are aiming for. When discipline becomes automatic, progress becomes inevitable. This morning system is not designed to impress anyone. It is designed to rebuild you, one action at a time, one decision at a time. It is not about perfection, it is about consistency. You do not need to do everything right. You need to do a few things daily. Daily actions shape your discipline. Discipline shapes your confidence. Confidence shapes how you speak, how you learn, and how you show up in the world. This includes your English. Fluency does not come from talent. It comes from daily exposure, daily practice, and daily courage. When English becomes part of your system, it stops being scary. It stops feeling heavy. It becomes normal. You stop waiting for confidence to speak, you speak, and confidence grows naturally. That is how systems work. They remove fear by making action familiar. So now we lower the emotion and raise the structure. We stop chasing motivation and start building habits. Not big habits, not perfect habits. Simple, repeatable actions that stack over time. Actions that work even when you feel tired. Actions that slowly change how you see yourself. This is where rebuilding begins, quietly, consistently, without pressure, without drama, just a system that runs every morning, shaping your discipline, your confidence, and your future one day at a time. Built this way, progress becomes unavoidable, and over time, you wake up different, thinking differently, acting differently, and living a life you once believed impossible before. Repetition-based, identity-driven habits. Habit 1. Make your bed. Finish what you start. When you make your bed, you are not cleaning. You are training your mind. You are sending a quiet but powerful message to your brain before the world speaks to you. The message is simple. I finish what I start. This action looks small, almost meaningless, but its impact is deep and lasting. Most people wake up and begin the day by delaying. They snooze the alarm, they stay under the covers, they wait for comfort before responsibility. That single habit teaches the brain something dangerous. It teaches the brain that starting is optional and finishing can wait. Over time, that lesson spreads into every part of life. Making your bed interrupts that pattern immediately. It is the first completed task of the day. It requires no talent, no intelligence, and no motivation. It only requires a decision. That decision creates a small win. And small wins are powerful because they change how you see yourself. When you complete one task, your brain releases a signal of control. It says, I can take action. I can bring order where there was disorder. That feeling may be subtle, but it is real. One small act of discipline creates momentum. Momentum does not come from thinking, it comes from doing. A made bed becomes evidence. Evidence that you are someone who follows through. Evidence that you do not leave things unfinished. Evidence that your environment responds to your decisions. This is why a made bed is a made mind. Your surroundings shape your psychology more than you realize. Disorder creates stress. Chaos creates mental noise. When you walk past an unmade bed, your brain registers it as something incomplete, something waiting, something unresolved. But when the bed is made, the mind feels calmer, clearer, more in control. That calm carries into the next action and the next decision. This habit also trains self-respect. You are not making your bed for guests, you are making it for yourself. You are telling yourself that your space matters because you matter. When you respect your space, you begin to respect your time. When you respect your time, you stop wasting it. There will be days when your life feels heavy, days when plans fail, days when nothing seems to work. On those days, the made bed becomes a reminder that you did something right. You started the day with discipline. You did not surrender immediately. Finishing small tasks builds trust with yourself. Trust is not built through promises, it is built through action. Every morning you make your bed, you keep a promise to yourself. Over time, those promises compound. You begin to believe your own words again. This habit is not about perfection. The bed does not need to look perfect. It needs to be finished. Completion matters more than appearance. Completion teaches your brain that effort leads to closure, not avoidance. When you master small discipline, you prepare yourself for bigger responsibilities. You train the habit of finishing. You become someone who completes tasks, not someone who delays them. That identity quietly shapes your future. So tomorrow morning, do not think, do not debate, make your bed. Finish what you start. Begin your day with control. One small win, one clear signal. A stronger mind begins here. This simple habit may feel too easy, but easy does not mean useless. What you repeat daily shapes who you become. Discipline grows quietly, like a muscle trained every morning. Start here, stay consistent, and watch how strength replaces hesitation, confidence replaces doubt, and progress replaces excuses time, without force, pressure, or drama.